Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope you are doing good. Today's video, as you can see from the title, is going to be a VR to Angel at Feeding My Soul, who is revitalizing the Watching TarotTube tag, which I think was originally created by Katie Flowers, who is no longer on YouTube or no longer making videos. And I thought it was fun. And so I am also doing this tag. That's kind of all there is to it. To give you something to look at, I am going to be edging my secret language of colour cards because otherwise you're just going to watch me waving my hands around. There's probably still going to be a lot of me waving my hands around, let's be honest. But there's, I think, 10 questions. And I have done almost no preparation for this beyond the first question where I needed to check how many channels I was subscribed to. So I'm just going to get into it. So question 1 is, how many channels are you subscribed to? And it's only 100-ish, which is not very many, and there's reasons for this. So this is not my first YouTube channel. Like I've watched previously on a different YouTube account that I had, and I had a booktube channel where I made videos and did most of my watching from, and so this channel I created specifically as Tarot Magpie to make tarot videos on, and so I kind of haven't built up a massive backlog of subscriptions yet, and so like it's only about 100, which I feel like really is not that many subscriptions to have. I'm sure it will come to be more, but for the moment, like 100 or so like actively making content channels. Active channels would be the way to put that, wouldn't it? Because I've only had this channel since March or April. So everyone is kind of still making content. There's plenty for me to watch, and I'm getting finding new channels all the time. So that will grow, but I only have about 100 at the moment, which I say only because it feels like it's not very much. So the second question is, when do you normally watch TarotTube? I watch TarotTube mostly in place of watching TV. Like YouTube is my Netflix. And it's often also in the background. So if I'm ever doing anything like arty crafty, or if so the other day I spent hours, I didn't mean to do this, it just kind of happened because one thing led to another, but I spent hours reorganizing and kind of sorting through my entire art craft supply, all my like notebooks, all my tarot decks as well, because everything was kind of all in the wrong places. But anyway, that's slightly relevant, but I had loads of TarotTube on in the background when I was doing that. The only downside to watching TarotTube in the background is that I'm often not able to like comment because I'm doing other things. So I watch a lot more videos than I comment on, and if I follow you, I promise I do watch your videos. I just don't always, I'm not always in reach of a keyboard to actually comment. Also, another time I watch a lot of TarotTube is when I can't sleep. Sometimes I'm in that kind of can't sleep mood where I just feel very anxious and kind of lonely. This sounds so pathetic. But hey, let's air my secrets on the internet. Yeah, and so I really like putting kind of YouTube videos on in the background or not even in the background, like I'll watch them and then try and fall asleep because it's like having a friend chatting to me, while I can't sleep. So that's quite nice. But anyway. So question 3 is, how do you balance watching TarotTube, reading tarot, and making your own videos? And honestly, not super well, in the sense that I'm never doing all of those things consistently, which I feel like probably shouldn't come as a surprise because I've only had this channel for, not even 6 months, and I already had like a whole month gap where I just kind of ran out of the brain space to create videos. But yeah, so when it comes to creating content, I do try and have like a bit of a schedule. I try and upload twice a week, on a Sunday and a Wednesday. One time I uploaded on a different day, and the YouTube algorithm still has not forgiven me. or I just started making shit content that nobody cares about after that. But this was, God, it was sometime maybe like a few weeks ago. I didn't upload on a Friday because I didn't want to miss it, and I was having a battle with my editing software, and I couldn't get it edited to upload it on its normal day. And then my videos have been tanking ever since, so I think the algorithm is punishing me. But aside from that, I do like to have a schedule, and I'm kind of always, I do plan my videos, or at least I plan what I'm going to be filming, and I have a bit of a schedule planned out. I have a whole section in Notion with like a calendar, and that's where I kind of put all my ideas, because my brain works in a way that ideas are always germinating, and I can't just like sit down and come up with stuff. So I have a whole list of like, I don't know, 20, 30 ideas for YouTube videos, and many of them will never see the light of day. Many of them will get merged, and kind of 3 ideas will turn into one, because I'll literally have like, you know, in a very much like Ace of Wands way, Ace of Swords way, I'll have the like seed of an idea, and then I need to kind of stick it in a list and nurture it until it becomes a viable YouTube video. And then as for like balancing reading tarot and watching TarotTube, I think watching TarotTube is probably the thing that falls by the wayside the most often. Like, I'm always reading tarot, and because I have a schedule for videos, I do for the most part try and stick to it. So I think if something's going to fall by the wayside, it's watching. And as the tagline of my channel, I don't know why this was my tagline, but it fits. The tagline of my channel and the kind of tagline that pops up on my intro is consistently inconsistent, which is me. That's what I am. That's what I do. So like, I'll go through phases where I'm watching loads of TarotTube. I'll go through phases where I'm doing lots of readings, and then I'll go through phases where I'm making a whole ton of videos and coming up with a load of ideas. So it all comes out in the wash, you know, is how I like to think about it anyway. Question 4, is there a difference between videos you like watching and videos you like making? And my answer to this is like, kind of. So like, for the most part, no. I try and like make, you know, I'm interested in what I'm interested in, so I'm for the most part making content that I want to watch because it's what I'm interested in, it's what I want to spend my time doing. But like, there are some things, like I love making unboxings and walkthroughs because it makes me, like, it forces me to really slow down with a new deck and like really take in a new deck. But like, I'm only going to watch somebody else's unboxing if it's a deck I have some kind of interest in. Like, I'm really not into like Lenormand, for instance. Lenormand is French, right? Anyway, I'm like, I have no interest in owning or reading Lenormand decks, so I'm not going to watch somebody's unboxing unless like I really love that person or for some reason it piques my interest. But I do like watching unboxings of decks I already own, so I do watch quite a lot. But anyway, and like another thing, like I really like watching really in-depth discussions of like a topic. Like, for instance, recently, I think it started with tarot readings from a bitch. Made a video about like asking people who don't personify their tarot decks, like why and how they read with them instead, sort of thing. And then I watched a couple of really good response videos, and like I love watching those kind of in-depth discussions, but I don't make them because I feel stressed, basically. I'm not that, as you can tell, because this video is entirely unscripted and I'm rambling a lot. It's difficult for me to kind of get my thoughts in order, squirrel brain, and it's difficult for me to articulate them in a way that is exactly what I mean and exactly what I'm thinking. Like, I struggle. It's not so much that I struggle to find the right words, but I place a lot of importance on being specific with my words, and so it takes me a long time to kind of come up with the exact language that I want, which honestly like is a little bit exhausting to have to experience as the way I live my life, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, that is why I kind of don't really do like in-depth discussion-y type videos, because it stresses me out because I know for a fact that I would not express what I want to express exactly how I want to express it, and that additionally, upon editing, I would realize so many more things that I could add to my own conversation. So maybe I will approach those, and maybe that's the kind of thing that I will script a bit more, which I'm sure is like not cool. But you know, that's probably the only way I can get around to doing it. But aside from those two examples, can I think of anything? Yeah, I mostly make and watch the same kind of things. Like I really like watching tags, and here I am making yet another one. I really like watching videos about the ways that people like categorize their decks, and I like making those videos too. Like I just did one about decks without people or faces, decks that aren't looking at me, basically. So yeah, there's a lot of overlap for sure. Okay, the fifth question is, who is the first TarotTuber you subscribed to, and do you still watch them? So again, that's really hard to say because I've been watching TarotTube for years before I even ever touched a tarot deck. And I want to say it was maybe Simon from the Hermit's Cave. I think I have a lot of memories of watching his videos because he did loads of, and I think still does, like a lot of like unboxings and walkthroughs, which is what I was into initially before I had a tarot deck. And yeah, I'm still subscribed to him. I still do watch his videos. So yeah, that answers that one. And so question 6 is, who is the most recent TarotTuber you subscribe to? And I think it's probably Scholarbot Tarot, who I found in the comments of another discussion video. I'm pretty sure I found her in the comments of a response to that personifying decks kind of discussion. And then I went and watched her video, and she is from the perspective of somebody who doesn't personify her decks, and I just thought it was all really, really interesting. I loved the way that she approached that discussion, and then I think I watched a couple other of her videos, and I really enjoy her perspective. So question 7 is, share an old favourite TarotTuber, and like AnnMaddox immediately springs to mind. AnnMaddox, who I've been watching forever and still love, and honestly go back and watch her backlist of videos all the time. Also Kelly Bear, who I've definitely also been watching for years and was watching on my previous channel and still love. Candy Soul and Soil, I feel like I've been these definitely predate this YouTube channel, is kind of the dividing line that I'm choosing for this. I've been watching them for way longer than I've had this channel. So Candy Soul and Soil also definitely up there. I adore her content, and oh, who else? I'll definitely try and like add more people in the description because I can't think on my feet. We just had that whole conversation about how I didn't script this video. Benabel Wen, oh my goodness, Benabel Wen, I've been following forever, it feels like. Although I think I followed her blog before I watched her videos, and I still do read her blog, but I've definitely been watching her videos for a long time. She's a fantastic resource. I think especially anyone like beginning tarot, their tarot journey, Benabel Wen is a fantastic person to follow, both her blog and her channel, and just the amount of like resources for learning the tarot that she's put out there. But yes, that's all I can think off the top of my head for like old favorites that I still watch and still adore. So question 8 is, share a new favorite TarotTuber, and for this I'm going with I'm demarcating it as people I have only discovered since I started Tarot Magpie. So Sarah at Tangy Tarot for sure. I really love her content. I did a VR to her recently. Angel at Feeding My Soul. I love her approach to tarot. I also really love her like art stuff that she does. Who else do I like? Who else can I think of? Krista at Crochet Witch Tarot. I've been really liking her videos lately as well. Crescent Dreams Tarot, Livy. I'm going to be so embarrassed if I've got people's names wrong. Livy at Crescent Dreams Tarot. I really like their content and their videos. I feel like I've done a bunch of VRs to them as well. Yeah, that's a handful. Again, I will think of more. I'm sure I will think of more, and I will try and link people in the description. What is one of your YouTube TarotTube pet peeves? That is prompt number 9. Question number 9. So I'm pretty chill in the sense that like I don't have the energy to get worked up about stuff. And so like I don't like, I'll just skip stuff if I don't like it. But the thing that is a pet peeve that like really gets to me is specifically loud background music, but honestly like any added overlaid sounds that were not like ambient background noise. Like I don't mind a bit of background noise. I don't mind the sounds of like cards shuffling and stuff like that. Like that's okay. But things like background music or like sound effects that have been added in editing to a video, I can't hear what's going on. It's definitely like a processing thing for me. Like if there's additional music happening, I can't hear the actual video and I can't hear what the person is saying. It just makes the video kind of unwatchable, which is a bit of a shame. It just like I can't process the sounds if there's this extra layer of like added noise, and like especially if it's loud background music. Like I don't mind, like if it's really quiet, it's fine, and I can kind of get my ear in, like tune into it and then be able to tune it out. But if it's noisy, if it changes a lot, if there's sound effects, like I can't focus on what I'm actually supposed to be listening to. Subtitles help, and YouTube's automatic subtitling has gotten way better, but I'd rather just people leave the background music out when you're talking. So yeah, that's my only like real pet peeve, I think. And then the final question of this tag is, what have you learnt from watching other TarotTubers? And like, so much is the short answer to that. Obviously I've learned so much about the tarot, but specifically to like watching and making content, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's okay to have really deep thoughts and ideas about tarot. And like that sounds kind of silly, but it's one of those things that like, because a lot of people don't take tarot seriously, that I feel a bit silly, or I feel a little bit like embarrassed almost to spend so much of my time and money and energy on tarot and reading tarot and like thinking about different ways to think about the tarot. Like I feel like I'm taking it too seriously sometimes, or at least I've been made to feel that way. And like the voice in my head that is telling me that is definitely not my voice, and it's definitely having this like wonderful resource that is YouTube, and other people to watch, that has, I don't know, kind of allowed me to take it more seriously and just recognize that as like a good thing, or just a thing that I enjoy doing and just like part of my like everyday, and it's not something that's like silly or weird. And yeah, watching TarotTube videos, and especially when people are getting really deep into their opinions on like certain cards or the way they conceptualize things, which is something that I do anyway, I just feel better about it all. I feel much more like positive. Not that I felt negative before making TarotTube videos, but I just feel it's just like added so much to the way that I consider the tarot and kind of the way I conceive of my relationship with tarot. So there's like several layers of self-observation there, and it's a little bit exhausting. But that is the way my brain works. But anyway, like, yes, I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned from watching other TarotTubers, is that like, it's okay to take it very seriously, and that it's good to take it very seriously, and that there are other people out there who also take it just as seriously and will therefore take me seriously. Does that make sense? I hope that all makes sense. I feel like I'm tripping over my words a lot, so I am going to leave that there. That is the Watching TarotTube tag. Thank you to Angel for kind of revitalizing this. And like I say, I will definitely tag her below. But yeah, I'm sure I'll think of other TarotTubers who I want to shout out, and I will also tag all of them below. I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Give me a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.